Hello and welcome to another movieverse review, and today we'll be looking at Transformers Bumblebee Studio Series Bumblebee. And this is him as the VW Bug. This is his packaging, showing off his new movie look. So take a look at that backdrop of Charlie's garage. And you can stick Bumblebee right on in it. Just need a little Charlie now. Alright. So, one thing with those, they're nice little backdrops. You just gotta have a lot of display space if you want to store all these figures with their backdrops. And it is a nice looking Bumblebee. Look at the head sculpt. Not bad. It's a little mix of movie and tune. Now he does have some ankle articulation here, some tilts going, so you can give him some poses. Now overall, it is a nice looking figure. I do like it. It's more clean, less looking, and less not as much detail as normal movieverse figures have. So it's more streamlined. Yeah, he does have quite a backpack going on here. So that is a kind of a problem. But as preferences, I don't really mind it. This kind of gives him a little balance issue. And overall details otherwise is very nice on the figure. Paint is nice as well. Just going on with that backpack. Now I do have a little bit of trouble having to get that thing wedged way up here. It's very tight in clearance. You got to, I feel like I'm going to break it at times. Now he does come with weapons. He comes with his saw blade. You see him in the movie cutting down trees while he's running. And it has these two tabs, which you can then tab onto either arm. But we're going to go with his left, because I believe in the movie, I'm not sure if that's one he's using. That's one we're going to stick it on. And this tab's right on in. And then he has his cannon, which is very reminiscent of the original, Michael Bay movies. Not exactly the same, but it's reminiscent of it. And all we're going to do here, as you can see, it looks just like his arm, which means what we're going to have to do is, where you can see how this is all silver, this has a black piece in the elbow bend, and so does this. So we're just going to take it from here and just pop this piece off. Okay, now his hand. The piece. There. And you see how it just pegs right on in. So now we'll just take this, take it in, and there you go. Now he's got his gun. Oh, crap. And you can see it doesn't really hold very well on the gun. The gun is easier to remove than you saw the regular forearm was. But it's kind of giving this little short, stubby looking appearance. And he comes with his battle mask, which is sort of like a mix of what he currently had in the movies and the, I guess, original G1 toy, you would say. So what we're going to do, you see what it has, you just got to take off this one. And this one is on fairly tight, so it's a work to get off for me anyway. There we go. Pulls right off. You can see his eyeballs stay on. And you just take it, and you see where the little peg thing is, tab. It's going to slide on top of his head. And his original eyes will go in those little circles you saw. And now he has his battle mask. This is for when he gets pissed and he wants to get down to business. He's like, I'm going to cut you. I'm going to blast you. If it can stay on. But yeah. Yeah, he's not really going to have that on. He's going to leave his arm on. I mean, even the battle mask looks fine. Mine doesn't stay on. You can see it came right off. As well as his face does. I prefer this face anyway. Surprisingly. Now, it's a nice figure. I do like it. It is a little bit smaller than you would say normal deluxes are. He is smaller in this movie, so he is smaller than his other Bumblebees you have in the studio series from the first, the original Michael Bay movies. And here he is next to a deluxe class Lockdown. Big size difference. Both deluxes. Now, if you want to transform Bumblebee here, what we're going to do is remove his saw blade from his arm. Maybe. Get it off. I'll come to these doors. I'll open them up. Take this part here and go on, come up and just tab it into the original part of the window. This piece here, as you see, it's all folded in. Just get it out of his back, bring it down, fold this piece out as well. And you can see where the entire top of the car is. Coming over here to his arms. I'm bring them up. These pieces here, I want to pull them out to the side. Waist. I'm going to turn the figure, the waist, 180 degrees. Cha-ching. Now, the most complicated part of this transformation to me is just getting the feet transformed properly to where you can get the top of the car to sit and snap into the back. To me, that's the most difficult part of this whole transformation. So you want to take these pieces off the back here of this leg. And you want to collapse the foot in on itself. There's a slider on here on the knee. You want to slide this to the inside over here. So you just grab it and just got to work this one piece over. And when you get that accomplished, it's going to kind of combine or wards itself up onto the thigh. This part will collapse down. And then you can bring this piece up. Of course, the instructions, they want you to leave that down for right now. So we'll just leave it down. We'll do what the instructions say. You're going to do the same thing on the other leg. Let's get that in over. That one slides a lot easier. Then you want to combine or wards it. Just bring it up and over. Collapse that in. You can see there are tabs here and here that will tab the back end together. And also on the leg themselves are these two tabs that will tab the legs together. And you see this gets in your way, man. And you can see now there are two tabs here that will go up into his back. You can see I untabbed it all. That's one of the biggest complaints of the Studio Series. The tabs they have on these figures don't hold very well. Mine are always constantly coming untabbed. And it just pretty much takes me to the very last bit of the transformation just to tab them all collectively in. So we'll just leave that part there. Come up here, grab this front section. Like so, pull them out, and then you want to just rotate this up and over. Better than that, it's like a bee. Bring these in. Rotate at the shoulder. There's this tab here on his forearm. Focusing on my hand, not the figure. There's little bitty little notches in there. That's where you want to get that into. And let's fold his hands in. So go ahead and bring the other one in. Bring his arm around. Alright, so now we got the arms ready to go down. Things you gotta do first. You're gonna have to move this stuff out of the way too. Go ahead and lower this back end down. You can see there's a tab here. It will go into the back of the car. And there's a tab here on each side as well that goes into this piece on the leg. Don't worry, it will pop out before you get everything finished. You'll have to re-tab it as well. Then you take these pieces and bring them up. And there are these little holes here that will tab into these little pegs on his arms. You have to do this to get this hinge out of the way, so now you can collapse his arms in and try to get that piece tab done. And you can go ahead and try to tab in his wheels to his arms. Hood piece up and over. His lights. And now bring this back section up. And it has come all untabbed. Pretty much his whole legs are already untabbed on mine. It's just what happens when you start moving this car around. And now there's these little pieces here that will go into these slots here. And of course, there's tabs here that will go into these little slots on each side. It's nice if the phone will focus. So it's just a matter of getting it all tabbed together. Like I told you earlier about these little clear things that go on his legs. You gotta get those in there. And like I said, everything will pop out. Okay, with Bumblebee all into his vehicle mode here, you can see where you can store all his gear underneath. You can store his extra face or his battle mask up here underneath the front bumper, and it gives you a little detail of spikes coming up. His saw blade goes right here, tabs right on in, and his weapon tabs right there into his crotchetals. So that's a good way of keeping the thing stored, without having to try to keep up with them, put them in baggies or whatever. And the car still rolls perfectly fine. Now, my only problem is getting his battle mask in here because my fat little fingers don't want to, it's hard to get this stuff in. But, just because I got old man hands and stuff. But anyway, the vehicle mode does look really good, and I'm very happy. I'm very pleased with this vehicle mode. And just compare it with the first movie's 70s Camaro. Of course, I'm always Group 1 G1, so I'm going to always prefer this right here. You can see where his weapon stores. Underneath. You can see we went from more detailed to less detailed. And in comparison with the Legion class Bumblebee from the Bumblebee movie line, this is the Studio Series line, but it is from the Bumblebee movie. Not too bad, eh? Looks good. Final thoughts on this figure. It is a very nice robot mode, a very nice alt mode. It's lovely, detailed, painted, and sculpted. The problems are sort of the quality control. The wrist pops off. I pop his leg off all the time. The tabs don't want to stay tabbed in. I popped his head off. It's not even doing very much. How he wants you to store things, I can't get it to stay stored because it just falls off. And I'm not going to worry with it. Also, you can store his face on his window, which looks ridiculous in robot mode, but it doesn't really stay on. Also, how the weapon doesn't really stay on his arm, the battle mask doesn't really stay on my head. It could just be my figure. It could be my incompetence. The transformation is fine. It's just things are hard to move around when you have the big, huge top of the car hanging off to get the legs and everything going around it's in the way. The legs are fiddly at best, and since the tabs on mine don't lock or stay in, it just constantly comes untabbed when you're trying to do the rest of the stuff. So once you get some tabs in, you just knocked another tab out. That's probably my biggest complaint on the figures. It feels like the Studio Series Ratchet that I have. Every time I get a tab in, I pop another tab out. Some tabs won't even stay in at all. I can say that's a recurring theme on some of them. I think I've had that on a couple of these Studio Series figures where a lot of the tabs just will not stay in. So overall, the figure is very well done, the look-wise. I'm saying there's things they could have improved on, and some could just be it's my figure. You know, your figure could be a totally different thing. All the tabs could lock in. I don't know. But otherwise, very nice and very well done. I definitely would recommend if you're into the Bumblebee character or the movies or the Studio Series figures. Anyway, thanks for watching. Till the next one. Peace out.